And I think one of the important things for town hamlets and solving its problems is for people to enjoy living in town hamlets, but to keep looking outwards as well. So there's no reason why a kid leaving school in town hamlets shouldn't get a job in any other part of the country or any other part of the world, shouldn't want to go to college in another part of the country, another part of the world, and shouldn't feel confident to do that, while at the same time having a real sense that their home and the place where they belong is town hamlets. So breaking down the walls of the goldfish bowl, if you like, and recognising that there is a big sea outside is an important part of what we need to try and do to change the way people think, you know, because quite often people contract themselves, if you like. If you only ever spend your life in Stepney, it may be that there are opportunities beyond Stepney which will help you without turning your back on Stepney, as that example. Yeah, you know, and I think that's important. That's dead important. Sure. And indeed, that's what we're finding. I mean, you and your paper is focused on the Bengali community, obviously, and if you look at the story of the Bengali community in East London, it's doing, in its own special ways, it's doing the same sort of thing as many other communities that have come to East End have done. So you come to the area with a lot of ambitions, but not a lot of resources, and gradually become more prosperous, more confident. And now we're finding that if you go out to the other parts of my constituency, out in Barking or in East Ham, growing Bengali community there as people have become more prosperous and bought their homes.
I live there now.
Okay, yeah, and that's the story. That's the story of London, and it's really great that the Bengali community is joining in that story as well, because I think the evidence is that people see that as a natural way of making progress. So yeah, Tavis is a goldfish bowl, but it's a goldfish bowl in which we all need to become big fish and jump in and out of the bowl as well.
You've answered aspects of this already, but I'll ask you the question anyway, in case you've got anything else to add. What can you bring to the borough as an elected mayor?
What can you bring as an elected mayor? Well, I think what I can bring, or what an elected mayor can bring, what I can bring.
What you can bring.
What I can bring. Well, I can bring a lot of experience. I think one of the things I found interesting about having been a councillor in towns and then become a member at City Hall is that I've seen the borough from the inside and from the outside, yes. And I think having that mixture is very powerful and important. I've got a range of other experience. So I trained as a lawyer, sure. And I worked in the city, and I've worked in the East End as well. You know, before I got into politics, I worked in a school in Stepney Green.
Which school was that? It
wasn't your one. It was John Cass.
John Cass.
I was a lab technician at John Cass way back in the 1980s. In fact, I keep bumping into people who were that tall when I was working as a lab technician.
Really?
Of course, I'm still that tall, but they've got a lot bigger since then. And yeah, early 1980s. So I've got a range of experience. I think I'm a thoughtful bloke. I think I'm a good leader, and the sort of leadership I want to do is one that pulls different people and different groupings together, because I think that's very important of Tower Hamlets. If you look at the history of Tower Hamlets, sure. The borough has tended to get stuck when people have been pulling apart. So trying to pull our different communities and interests together to share a common vision. Easily said, a lot harder to do, but I think we can make some real progress on that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
What are your top 3 priorities for Tower Hamlets?
Well, I thought about this, and I think it's interesting that you could list almost anything. You could talk about housing, you could talk about health, but I think the 3 big ones are, first of all, we want to raise the skills and employment levels of local people and people's prosperity. I think if I'm the mayor of Tower Hamlets, I want to focus on that as a priority. So people need to get higher wages, better skilled jobs, need to be more successful in getting their share of the cake in London, because it's a rich city and Tower Hamlets doesn't get its fair share at present. Second thing is if you like at the other end, is we still got a lot of poverty. So there's a lot of older people on very low incomes, for example, a lot of kids who don't have the facilities at home that middle class kids get to give them help in life. So we need to try and tackle the problems of poverty in the borough, and that's easier said than done. But I think a mayor and a council who are focused on the issue of poverty and what you can do to try and address that can create a lot of powerful tools that will make a difference for people. I think the third thing is about community, and it's the point I made earlier about this being a borough in which there's a range of different communities who have their own different faiths and cultural perspectives and outlooks and different habits, but the reason people choose to live in town hamlets is because we like the way in which that all buzzes together. So I think it's about creating a clear sense of community and a sense of direction for the borough. So that's a priority. I think we're doing okay on that, but I think we can do better still. Because there's this real contradiction at the heart of it, which is we're a fairly poor community at the heart of a very rich city, and we need more of that. Basically, we need more of that wealth to come into our borough, and we get that by speaking single-mindedly and going out and grabbing it for ourselves, by winning the arguments with that big bad world outside. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
And your last question, John. How can a politician like yourself help to strengthen community relations, especially between different factions of the community?
Well, I think people need to look at me as an individual and ask themselves whether they think I've got that sort of talent. And I think I like to lead by example. I would never expect as a leader to do something I wasn't prepared to do myself. And so we are going to face some difficult decisions with budgets under this new government. We need to roll up our sleeves and work out what we need to do together. But I think if I become mayor, then I want to, as a starting point with the fellow councillors on the council, I want to get to know them better, think about how we can use their talents to make this a better borough. So I think leadership's about leading by example. It's about developing the talents of people. I also want to work with the business sector and with the voluntary and community sector out there in the borough to make sure that people there feel they've got a stake in what we're doing. So I think it's about creating a sense of direction and purpose for the borough, and I think we've got the skills to do that through years of making mistakes and learning good things as well. How does that sound?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Okay, thank you.